Another Harrison first, the record year.
Harrison, oh Harrison, our hearts will ever be true. Thy spirit fills each one of us with noble thoughts of you.
On Friday, August 31st, 1962, class met in the cafeteria for its organization meeting.
It is indeed a great pleasure to welcome you, the class of 1966, to William Henry Harrison High School.
The next voice you hear is soon to become a familiar sound.
I'm looking forward to a chance to talk with you at length later, but we have work to do today. And this is the important thing to keep in mind now. I've gone over your records. I've watched your freshman football team at practice. I know from my years of experience that we have here the potential for the finest class that ever graduated in Evansville.
Just 1 week later, Friday, September the 7th, some 1,250 students filed into the boys' gym for its first all-school meeting, a pep assembly for its first varsity football game that evening against North High School.
I will now introduce to you the finest coach in this part of the nation, Head Coach Don Washington.
Before I elaborate any on the game, I would like for you to meet our starting 11 that we're going to start tonight. Actually, we'll probably be starting 12 or 13. Not at one time, we'll make the start 11. But I would like to introduce these fellas, and they're not even aware of it, that I'm going to call them out here, but I would like for them to come out.
That night, during the second quarter, the team completed its first forward pass and made its first down from scrimmage, but the score was North 59, Harrison nothing. The season ended 1-5-1, a good record for the first season. In fact, so pleased was Coach Watson that after putting the first feather on Little Red's victory lance, our first trophy, at our first victory assembly, he sang, the freshman football team won the city championship. Our freshman class officers were Bill Hewins, president, David Shane, vice president, Terry Rosenblatt, secretary, and Susan Turner, treasurer. On October 18th, all of us assembled in the boys' gym, and this was kickoff day for the chocolate sale.
The time is 5 a.m. on Thursday morning in front of Little Red's Teepee on the world's finest reservation. Little Red is dressed in war party costume, and he nervously paces and dances back and forth, emitting sounds of Indian whoops. One by one, other braves come and sit in front of the teepee. Little Red greets each warrior. How, tall feather? Harrison warriors are making new tribe in Indiana, home of Indians. need much help, need much wampum for battles and ceremonies, for Harrison Prophet, and for...
On November 14th, the seats had been put in the auditorium, and we assembled to have our first assembly in our new auditorium. The band played college songs as we prepared for a college assembly. Suddenly, it's basketball season. Harrison wins its first game by defeating Linville, 55-49. Little Red appears at the beginning of each home game to inspire his team.
Sounds of the 1962-63 Harrison High School basketball season. The very first season in varsity competition, the very first season of the school, the Harrison High School Warriors. Sounds from the basketball games. The Warrior 100, a card section of 100 girls, made their first appearance this evening using red and black cards, forming the letters C, forming the letters H, and doing a couple of rhythm routines with the cards.
The school colors chosen this year were black, red, and white. The mascot is the Warrior. And Christmas came to Harrison High School. As the first semester comes to a close, we think of many other things. Among these, the Harrison paper, the Prophet, the freshman cheerleaders are Allison Gum, Peggy Edwards, Cindy Gonderman, Janice Ellis, and Kathy Tiernan. As the second semester begins, the Pep Club sponsors an all-sports princess contest. The ceremony is held at halftime of the Memorial Harrison basketball game.
May I introduce first Miss Cindy Classy, a freshman member of the North. Second, Miss Nikki Edmondson, a freshman member of the North.
The last game of the basketball season was a first victory over a city team. Harrison 70, Mater Dei 60. And here is the following ceremony.
Mr. Barney, as representative and principal of Harrison High School, will you come forward, please? This being a very historical day in the life of our school, I would like to present to you, Mr. Barney, this basketball, and would you see to it that the following inscription is printed on this basketball and placed in the trophy case so that our student body and many student bodies to come will see the following inscription. Harrison's first city victory, Harrison 70, Mater Dei 60, February 22, 1963.
Mr. Swett, members of the coaching staff, and basketball squad, on behalf of the students and
faculty at Harrison High School, it gives me great pleasure to receive this basketball or follow your instructions. I'll say again that I too am conscious of the historic moment. I think it very fitting that in your season's effort, you began the season with a victory, you finished the regular season with a victory, this first victory in varsity competition over a city opponent. I think this is a great omen for the future. I think this season was very significant of what your staff and squad, with the support of our loyal students working through the season, this was a fitting climax to a very fine first season. Thank you very much, Mr. Swift.
We chose our school song in a special assembly just before we entered the basketball tournament. And this was done so that we would have our song ready. This is the first time our student body sang our school song at the tournament assembly. In basketball competition, we won 6 and lost 13 games for a first-year effort. The freshman squad captured second place in the city, while the reserves won 14 and lost 4 games. Romanoff and Juliet is our first dramatic production. On Thursday, March 28th and Friday, March 29th, 1963, in the Harrison Auditorium, the play, under the direction of Miss Lenore Cupp, sounded like this.
B-F-T-A-N-T-I-A-T-I. Hell damn. You should have foreseen that. Oh.
The event most immediately catching to the interest is the performance of Alec Wilder's The Lowland Sea by the Harrison Concert Choir and the Harrison Concert Orchestra.
Where blows the wind when the wind blows cold? Where it blows, nobody knows. Where blows the wind when the wind blows warm? Where it blows, nobody knows. Where blows the wind when the wind blows free? It blows my true love home to me.
Our Scholarship Recognition Assembly took place on Friday, May the 31st, 1963. Mr. Forney said this.
When it came time to name the staff for the new William Henry Harrison High School, it came as no surprise that Lawrence Page, then principal at Central High School, was to be the first principal at Harrison High School. Much of the achievement of this first year was made possible by the early work and planning and devotion of Lawrence Page, and for which we here today acknowledge our debt. During last summer, a serious illness developed, and in the first semester, he knew that this illness was to be terminal. No man ever faced his fate with greater courage or composure, but it was characteristic of Mr. Page that as he made his last plans, he would include a special provision to further the education of youth.
Other things that will find their way back to our memories are the first school song, H-A-R-R-I-S-O-N spells Harrison, to remain standing at football games until the kickoff, the senior sock hop, the freshman party, the sophomore Sadie Hawkins dance, the yell contests for the pep megaphone, the talent show assembly, the prep chorus operettas, the student council paper drive, the auction sale, the honor day program, finding our special parking places, bar a bar day, and the choir and band assemblies, awards our many students have won, and the spring sports, and now Senior Week. Thus ends the first year at William Henry Harrison High School.